Welcome back. We live. Let's take a sip real quick. Well, I guess it's gonna be me. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that Technicolor rainbow in between. It's your boy, Mr. Petty.
Your boy, Big Herb.
No, it's Weekend Herb.
Oh yeah, Weekend Herb.
It's Cocaine Herb. Wait a minute. What? Hi, I'm Rick. How's everyone?
We're doing great. So we're short a couple of people, but we're still gonna hold it down for them. Shout out to our missing comrades. Take a shot for y'all real quick. He's gonna go ahead and so what's everyone sipping on?
Oh, I got a Terramana margarita.
Maestro.
I'm drinking an Austin Mule because you can't call it a Moscow Mule when you use Tito's, so it's an Austin Mule. It sucks just the same.
Oh, so what's all in there?
Same thing as in a ginger beer, vodka, and lime.
Okay, cool. I am sipping on the Scotch Monkey Shoulder. Just sipping on it. Nothing, no mixture. Never mix Scotch. Just sipping on it. So let's go ahead and get with these church announcements, Big Herb. Sorry, Weekend Herb.
Yeah. All right, so Her's Blerds, Sports and Whiskey. If you haven't already, like, share, subscribe on YouTube, IG, everything. OTTV on Roku. Look at prior episodes that he has, and Blerds and Whiskey on the Roku app. All right, guys. So I just went ahead and looked up. Suicide Squad is at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes already, and if I'm not mistaken, it comes out this Friday. So I hope it's better than the last one.
I mean, if they don't edit it like they did the last one, yeah.
I was about to say if they don't have a trailer company edit it. So I checked it again before we went on. It's down to a 97. Yeah, it's down to 97%. But one of the things that's a little bit disturbing to me is everybody keeps talking about it's the deconstruction of a superhero film. And I'm like, so what the fuck does that mean? And that's like going into that Logan territory where I heard someone say, yeah, Logan is the perfect X-Men movie because it doesn't have a bunch of X-Men in it. So I know we're going to have a bunch of characters in it, but we'll see. We'll see.
So what did they? I really want to know who said that because that makes no sense. Like the deconstruction of, I guess they're trying to say they're taking a different approach to superhero films.
Yeah, it just.
I just want to see John Cena. John Cena's character as a peacemaker.
Better than the last one because you know how people always say the anti-hero thing. But they are villains. How are they anti-heroes?
Nah, hey Rick,
you're trying to make them look cool and shit. It's just it doesn't do it yet.
No, hey Rick, go ahead and shed some light on what we were talking about with the trailer.
Oh yeah. So the reason why the first movie, apparently David Ayer made a whole different movie, which he came out on Twitter this past week and said that he did. But the reason why the first movie was so bad and it seemed like it was a schizophreniac's dream was because they took the company that made the first trailer, the trailer with all the flashy music and the cutscenes.
I believe it was Bohemian Rhapsody's. Panic at the Disco's Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, and everybody loved it. Essentially, they took them and said, all right, hey, can you edit this movie for us? And that's where you get that jumbled mess of jumping around and Will Smith close-ups, and he's playing a character who's known for his mask, but it's just, we got to see his face. So well, hopefully we didn't. This time we may not get that because I know WB went to James Gunn and was just like, hey, do whatever you want. Kill whoever you want. Blow up whatever you want. Just make us a movie. So hopefully we don't get that type of situation. But, I don't trust Warner Brothers for anything because they do stupid shit all the time.
Only thing I trust Warner Brothers with is the animated movies. And
even those are kind of slipping now.
Yeah. But hopefully Marvel can solve all of that with, excuse me, the What If series that's coming out on August 11th. Apparently, there's a few guys out there who've seen it already. Obviously, I hope one day we could actually get to that point where we could start giving our own views weeks ahead of the actual movie or the TV series come out. Because, that's what we're working for. But, I hope that it could be really good because, the way that we ended with Loki, I could just imagine that it's going to be bonkers.
I mean, I'm a fan of the What If comics from when I was a kid. So like the concept of like the possibilities of future of the multiverses is pretty cool. So I mean, can't go wrong with a What If like Flash Thompson was bits to the Peter Parker story. So we'll see.
I'm just glad they're giving Marvel's greatest voyeur his own show and platform to show his voyeurism. So
you mean Marvel's Peeping Tom?
Exactly.
Like that's gotta be unnerving. Like it's bad enough people read your thoughts, but you're like, you're sitting there just taking a shower, like, yo, there's an alien with a big ass head on the moon seeing me right now.
Yeah, he tries to cover it up with the cosmic dress and the giant head and the intergalactic powers. But we know what you are, Watcher. We know what you are, Watu. You're a peeping Tom. That's fine. We get it.
I'm watching everything. Yeah. Apparently Hawkeye and Miss Marvel is going to be making its debut before the actual year is out. So with everything setting up, I mean, it's going to be pretty wild just to see what's going on with that. Also, got some capping news out here. Sony says that they sold 10 million.
Cap.
I'm sitting here waiting on when the fuck is coming out because I've been trying to buy mine for the last couple months.
They got 2 million pirates.
So the funny thing about that is that post is a lie in itself, because I saw one post that said 5 million, then I see another post a couple of days later that says 10 million. Which fucking one is it, Sony? What? And then also, if you sold 10 million of it, I only know one person that has a PS5. Just one. So it's I don't know, man. I just feel like they're just out here lying just for the sake of lying. It makes them feel good so they can bump their numbers up. Fucking liars. I want to get mine. When can I go get mine?
That's the real question here. Maybe they made them and they just stole them, and then that's part of they count the thefts as the millions.
I mean, maybe we could ask Trey as far as like since he was on that FedEx truck. I mean, hey, moving on.
Jesus Christ. So yeah, go ahead, hurry.
Moving on. Some sad news happened in WWE yesterday. Bray Wyatt got released. I will be the first person to go out there and say I didn't believe that the whole entire Fiend thing was going to be good, but damn it, I was wrong as hell.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It turned out to be one of the best storytellers in the WWE period. And then you let him go because Vince is being Vince. So I'm.
You want to go, Rick? I'm gonna let you.
Sure. I'll start. Corey, this goes out to you, and you're constantly bombarding me with, oh, you talking about AEW and shit. Like this is just more of like. So apparently Vince McMahon has never really understood what he had in Wyndham Rotunda, aka Bray Wyatt. He's never understood any of his characters. That's why when you had the Bray Wyatt character, the Eater of Worlds character, it was just like, oh, well, you're supposed to be the next new threat. We're going to have you job out to everybody that you go against. Literally everybody's you're just going to do the job for everybody. Then he comes with this brilliant split personality character of the Mr. Rogers type cartoon show host, and then the Fiend, and it's amazing. Everybody loves it. And then, of course, he starts jobbing out to everyone, and then they take his character and give it to Alexa Bliss. And you're just like, what the fuck is happening here? So in the short term, I'm sad for Wyndham and him in the 12 years that he's given to WWE. In the long run, it's been 12. It's been 12 years.
He's been part of next.
That's crazy, right? When you realize it's been 12 years. But I mean, hopefully he ends up somewhere. Hopefully, I mean, I think his character could work in New Japan. I think New Japan would do it really some real justice. He doesn't necessarily have to go to AEW like right off the back, but I would love to see him and Braun Strowman end up in New Japan and just run roughshod over them for a while, because they can actually get to do the character work and actually work as two monster heel entities that they should be. But it's just old ass Vince being Vince.
I wonder how like the Aleister Black's character was he in AEW? Something Black?
Malachi Black.
I want to have Malachi Black and the I don't know. Does he own Bray Wyatt? Does he own Bray Wyatt or the Fiend or anything like that?
I don't know, but God, I hope he does.
Because if he doesn't own it, I mean, I can't imagine like he can, just changing everything. But no, my take on it is I honestly think he probably asked for his release, to be honest. And
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, with the direction how his character was going, and B, everyone forgot that he lost like his best friend like 7 months ago, and it's been taking a toll on him for a while. So a combination of his work environment and losing his friend, so the personal and work environments are colliding for mental health reasons. I think he probably needed to take a break, which is why he's not even talking about what he wants to do. I remember somebody gave him a shout out on Twitter, and then he blocked him. Like, hey, I'd love for you to work over in TNA. Blocked. So yeah, I think he asked for a release, and WWE granted him. So I don't think he's actually going to go to other. He may not go to other promotions. He may just be taking a time off to just get himself back together, and then maybe show back up in WWE. We'll see.
Yeah, William Robinson says he can potentially see Bray Ronan and Braun in AEW. Rest in peace, Brody Lee. So yeah, just to piggyback on what you're saying.
What if he takes over the Dark Order? He goes to AEW.
I was actually just about to say that Evil Uno already jumped on it. It was just like, hey, the Dark Order needs new leaders. So
yeah, he's definitely got a great mind for the business. Like he said, I forgot he was Husky Harris, and then from the greatest tweet I ever seen. The greatest tweet I saw Bray Wyatt do was some fan was trying to be like an asshole about it. Like, hey, weren't you Husky Harris at one time? And he goes, at one time, yes, I was Husky Harris, but he said, but I'm Bray Wyatt now. He said, Husky needed a change in life to win, and I needed a vessel.
Oh yeah. I remember that character work. That was brilliant character work.
Go
ahead for let's go finish.
But yeah, but that concludes the church announcements though.
I guess it was kind of not really an announcement. We can just kind of let's go ahead and talk about it, the elephant in the room, especially when it comes to Marvel. Y'all hear about this old Scarlett Johansson decided to sue Disney, not Marvel. She's suing Disney. She's going after the mouse now.
Yeah, I saw a meme earlier that I told you guys, but I'm gonna tell the other people who's watching. So the scene from Avengers where it's like, yeah, it's all like what's the name of that place? What it was shooting? Yeah, it's the same place I remember as far as
Budapest.
Budapest. Yeah,
what did he say? I missed it.
They said the Budapest. Like, it's all like Budapest again. He's like, yeah, me and you remember Budapest a whole differently. And then they say on the actual thing, yeah, this is just like the contract says. Yeah, me and you remember that contract a lot differently. So
essentially, in layman's terms, with the whole COVID thing, a lot of people started going to theaters. Her contract was stated that she was going to make most of her lion's share off of the movie ticket, the theater revenue.
Box office sales.
Yeah, box office sales. What ended up happening is that Disney decided to stream it at the same time as the box office release, as opposed to where the original deal was, because she knew that this was going to happen. She knew that there was going to be a Disney Plus release. So she was trying to her and her team were trying to renegotiate that deal to so they can be more beneficial, so she can get some of the money from the Disney Plus side, as opposed to just, or at the very least, Disney Plus released it a month or so after the movie on release, so that the theater can at least get a chance to make their money. But no, Disney said, we own Marvel. What are you talking about? And they just released it. But I think she does have a fair case. Disney did intentionally sabotage her last movie and the money revenue for it. But by doing this, especially in today's climate now, that's opening the floodgates for other actors to now try to claim that now too, because you got Emma Stone, Cruella DeVille, Emma Stone going after Disney now. Then you got Gerard Butler, Leonidas himself, trying to go after Disney for Olympus Has Fallen. Or is it?
No.
Yeah,
no,
that movie's 8 years old with 3 sequels.
So here's my thing is maybe you should have better representation, because nobody anticipated COVID being the shutdown and all of that stuff. But once you saw that was happening, and once they pushed your movie back twice, maybe you should have had your representation go to Disney and say, "Hey, we might need to make some changes to some of the language."
Exactly.
She did. She had her team, and Disney just left her on red.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I mean, well, then that just defeats my whole point. But
Yeah, no, I mean, I know, because I'm saying like Disney
got
did
the
try
message.
to, like they tried to be like, let's try to get this money. Hey, let's work something out, and they're like, who? Oh,
I didn't get that message.
I mean, yeah, well, then shit. Now I got to change my whole argument on the fly. Thanks, Cam. Well, but I mean, but honestly, like that goes back into the business practices that Disney was trying early on. You know what I mean? Like when everything first started, if people really don't remember this, but I kind of do. So people don't remember the Age of Ultron almost didn't happen because Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, and Scarlett Johansson were all pissed off at the amount of money that they weren't making for the Avengers movies. And they said, we're not going to do this. It took Robert Downey Jr. going to Disney and saying, hey, these people need to be paid. They're just as valuable to this as I am. Exactly. Without them, then there's no movie. So he had to actually go to them and they had to give some concessions about what they were being paid and the way they were being compensated for these gargantuan movies that are making billions of dollars. So it's Disney doing, I mean, honestly, it's just Disney doing what Disney does. They have bad business practices. It's documented everywhere, and it's all over the place about the bad business practices that they have. So, I mean, listen, hey, if she feels like she has a case, go and get your money, young lady, and stop stealing roles from people of color or.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, all I'm saying is, you know, based on what happened between Mulan and you know, I thought for sure that Disney was like on board with the Asian people community because, you know, but apparently they're not because they're screwing over Scarlett Johansson. So
yeah,
but yeah, like this whole stream revenue thing is a big thing because what's his name? Warner Brothers had their issues with the Snyder Cut, and they renegotiated with all the other people, Mortal Kombat. So it can be done because Warner Brothers did it with their people. So
yeah.
I don't know. Disney's just being an asshole.
Yeah, because I mean, if when you look at it, they kind of like she's losing at least about $20 to $30 million just off of this last run alone. Like you guys said, if you put it to where like, hey, 30 days from now, we're gonna put it on the Premium Plus app or whatever, and then excuse me, you can go ahead and make that money off of it with everybody going to the theaters. Because I know damn well $30 saved me a whole entire night just with my niece, my son, and Talani alone. So I mean, you could have got all that money back. And you pushed it back so many times. I mean, why not push it back 30 days so she can get some money off of it? I mean, it's just.
I'm reading the comments, and Godoni has a point. He was like, hell, the day after it could be released the day after, but she also made 50 million base pay plus the 20 million in revenue. But it's also the principle of the matter, especially when it comes to streaming rights. So essentially, we're all kind of saying the same thing. I feel like like I said, she does have a good chance. Even if he gets settled out of court, she might get her money back from Disney. Disney can afford it.
I was about to say the 50 million she's suing them for, that's a drop in the bucket to Disney. I think they spent that on the Avengers campus.
but speaking of lawsuits, y'all hip to what's going on with over in the West Coast with Activision Blizzard?
I'm just gonna jump out there and say this. So let me give you a recap real quick. So Activision Blizzard is being sued by the state of California. The state of California is suing one of the biggest video game producing companies in the world for having a toxic work environment. They called it a frat boy type work environment towards their female employees. Female employees will be subjugated to things like getting less pay for doing just as much work, or having male counterparts.
Sometimes doing more work.
Yeah, or doing more. Or their male counterparts would do the easier things, and they would put the harder task on the female employees. Guys would openly joke about sexual misconduct or sexual rape. They would make jokes about rape while talking to other female employees. They would comment on their bodies in an uncomfortable way. They would have practices like essentially drunken debauchery is the phrase that they would use. They would do things called cube crawls, where male employees would get drunk and then they would crawl through the cubicles of female employees. And sometimes they would touch them inappropriately. They would make all types of comments. The work environment was so bad that a female Activision Blizzard employee killed herself at a work event. This is one of the most horrendous things that I've ever heard of in my life. I've read a lot of the details of this lawsuit, and it disgusted me. And then I read Activision Blizzard's response, and it disgusted me even more, because essentially they said, oh, how can California do this to us? We'll run to Texas where Ted Cruz will let us do whatever we want. I'm appalled by it. I'm ashamed of it. How do you guys feel about it?
Cam, you want to go first, or you want me to go?
Sure, I'll go first. No, the thing is that another problem is that like I said, the toxic work environment is a cultivating thing that's always been going on, especially in that community. There's been some of the stories go as far back even before like Blizzard and Activision were like actual conglomerate company as individual companies or startup companies. They've always had this mentality throughout the years. I've heard some of the stories too. Like they have a suite in a it was an office building, an office party called the Bill Cosby suite. Their original joke about it was because everyone wears ugly sweaters in this place. But this is also back in 2013. So yeah, that ain't gonna fly. Yeah. No, I mean they had footage of like people asking these are the same people who made World of Warcraft. So a lot of people, to put an idea of how big this company is, and y'all already know about World of Warcraft. That's just one of the games that they produced and developed or continue to develop. Matter of fact, didn't like a bunch of the players go on strike or like?
Yes. World of Warcraft players have done a couple of demonstrations. At one point, people got together and hundreds of thousands of players got together in one part of the map, and they just kneeled all of their characters there for hours, didn't do anything, didn't buy any of the stuff that you would buy with it. I'm not a World of Warcraft player, so I don't want to start. I
personally have a story that I hate World of Warcraft. Like,
and then also they did a mass log out where all the players logged on, they got together, and they just logged off of the game for the day.
Which is huge if you think about how much like revenue that game produces, but just being them even logging on and playing. So a whole day of no one just touching that game.
Yeah, that's hitting the pockets. And I mean, because at first when we talked about this in our meeting and everything, I was like, damn, this sounds like something that Washington football team had last year. And then when I did the actual research behind it, and then the young lady who committed suicide, the whole entire thing underneath of the tables, the Cosby suite, it really just like, damn, like what the fuck is wrong with y'all? And then to come over there and say like, hey, it's so we're not even gonna talk about like, nah, this shit ain't true. We're gonna go ahead to Texas. Like,
well, no, they did initially deny. That was the first thing they did is deny everything. Like or the classic, I didn't see it happen, so therefore it couldn't be true.
Yeah, it's the frat boy bullshit that goes on all the time. That I mean, it's fucking like mind blowing that we're still going through this shit. And I mean, it's just like, yeah, I mean, at some point, grow the fuck up. Like, hey, why don't we treat the women that's actually working their ass off to treat them the way that they should be respected as? And I mean, it's just like at some point, what the fuck is this gonna go on? I mean, like, I'm not trying to just be like on the soapbox saying boycott this shit, but I mean, at some point, you gotta say, yo, fuck them. At some point, it's just
so what I'm hearing also from a lot of the details, like, yes, there's a vast number of people, but it's not like the company itself. But what is happening is that the company is allowing this.
Yes, Aaron, research. I did. Shut the hell up.
Yeah, I question that too. A lot of what's another thing that's going on is like this is. A lot of people are saying like not all men, and this isn't this is just a couple of assholes thing. This isn't a man problem. Like my issue is like, yo, why everyone's so quick to be defensive about saying not all men, as opposed to like actually being mad at the men who are perpetrating what's going on and cultivating this culture. One of the things that also is part of the issue is not just this particular lawsuit, but with men in general, is sometimes we don't hold each other accountable. So we don't really like call people out. So like you see someone like treating someone, improper, and it's like, oh, well, I'm just gonna not do it. Sometimes you gotta do more than just not do it. Sometimes it takes just you walking over and be like, yo, man, fuck, what are you doing? So
not to mention they had like a 2-year investigation that California did with this whole entire shit. And like they're not gonna put this shit out there. It's
been more than 2 years, man.
Yeah,
this is going on from the beginning.
They're not gonna take it to court unless they know without a shadow of a doubt that because this shit costs a lot of money just to put out there. But I mean, they're not just gonna.
That's not what we're saying.
I'm saying that they full of shit for doing what they did. Is basically what I'm saying. But I mean, it's just at some point, come on.
It's been a longer investigation than that. Yeah, no, my issue with World of Warcraft, back to that, I don't know, Mr. Proper can probably Mr. Proper could probably relate to this one, because I think we were living with this. Yeah, we were actually roommates when this happened. Had a house guest who didn't pay rent but played World of Warcraft like all the time. And I remember I came home and I was like, hey, how's the job search going? He's all like, oh, well, I got such and such level on Wizard on World of Warcraft. I said, oh, great. It's one of those jobs. Is this one of those wizard spells, how to get a fucking job? Because you've been kind of in my living room on a laptop, not working.
No, you were supposed to open his door and just start yelling at him.
There was no door. He was in the living room.
Rent check. Where's the rent check? Where's the rent check? I now cast upon you the spell of give me my goddamn money.
Lava axe.
Chuck, me and you are gonna fight just bare knuckle. Shut up, okay?
That we can hurt. Dude, he's on your side. Like he's
literally
like, are you so weekend, Herb? You're not understanding that sort of shit. Hey, you know, Herb, go where? You trying to leave?
Right. Hey, Herb, you doing a good job. Fuck you, nigga. Fight me. Wait. Huh?
Oh man, Herb don't even know when he's actually being complimented. Wow. Anyway.
But just real quick, just my thoughts to wrap up this activism Blizzard thing. It's not enough to support women and to support have them having a better work environment. You have to openly denounce these people that do these things. You have to openly denounce racism. You have to openly denounce sexism. You have to openly denounce people being against people who are gay, lesbian, transgender, all that. Like, you have to openly denounce these things. It's not enough to just say, oh man, those guys are bad, I'm against it. No, you have to be more proactive than that. Plain and simple.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, sometimes just being on the sidelines, being on the sidelines just ain't enough. Or not doing the wrong is just not enough to me. I'm sorry, it's just not enough.
So just reading the YouTube comment, Jamaica says, I like how you called them house guests instead of roommate. Laughing emojis.
No, I mean,
he didn't pay rent, so you a house guest.
Exactly. Nigga don't have a bed. You on the couch. You are a guest, sir. You need to ask me if you can use my cups or a piece of my cheese. And that cheese is gonna be extra on the rent check, nigga.
Oh man.
And Chuck said, I know, right? Back to shitting on Herbito. He'll turn like the Big Show.
No, so he's just saying you don't know if you're a good guy or a bad guy. Every week it's just gonna be something different.
Well, it's the big the big slow. But let's go ahead and roll our character of the week, because we're gonna have to. It's gonna tie into our next topic real quick. Character of the week. Actually, almost predating my love of comics, one of the things I used to look forward to on Sunday mornings was opening up the newspaper, because I couldn't read any of the articles until I was like 6 or 7, and enjoying the comic strips. So today's character week is part of the pulp comics craze in the 1930s. Today's character week is the Phantom. The Phantom was created by Lee Falk, and like I said, in the 1930s, pulp comics was kind of like a cheap romantic novel version of superheroes, even though they didn't really have superheroes back then. So they did a lot of things like the Lone Ranger, the Shadow, Green Hornet, things like that. Lee Falk based his idea of the Phantom off of people like Errol Flynn's Robin Hood, which explains the tights, the Lone Ranger, and the Shadow. Basically, the origin of the Phantom is a guy named Christopher Walken, not Chris Walken, Christopher Walker. Christopher Walker. Christopher Walker was assaulted by pirates and left for dead on an island abandoned. So then he swore an oath on a skull when he was in a cave to basically say he's going to bring an end or fight the piracy, injustice, cruelty, and tyranny. And not only him, but his sons. So basically he made a family business out of fighting pirates. Because comics, that whenever the previous Phantom passes the mantle of the Phantom to his son, the previous Phantom, when he dies, he's buried in a unknown tomb. So basically no one ever sees the Phantom die. So it basically creates the illusion of the Phantom being immortal, like a legacy or a myth of the Phantom existing. He doesn't have any superhuman abilities, so he's really not immortal. He's at peak human physical condition, hand-to-hand combat skill training, and marksmanship, which is why you also see him adorned with 2 guns. I'm sure he's fighting pirates, so he's not afraid of killing, but who knows. So as far as publication though, he's had several publications like independent and unknown comic creator publications. He's even had some runs in DC and Marvel. He's had a movie. Y'all remember Billy Zane from the 90s? It wasn't so bad. It was pretty hokey. I do remember in the 80s there was a cartoon which is kind of like an all-star cast of pulp comic characters. So it was called Defenders of the Earth. You had people like Flash Gordon, Mandrake the Magician, Phantom, obviously, and a guy named Lothar, like a Caribbean ninja type dude. And then they also had teamed up with their children, so basically it was a passing of the torch or a legacy for them. Now, if you were an avid Saturday morning cartoon watcher like I was, I know you also remember there was a Phantom 2040 cartoon which came on at like the butt crack of dawn, like around like 6 o'clock on whatever channel it happens to be. If you also remember, the character design of Phantom 2040 was Peter Chung, who's famous for Aeon Flux and Animatrix. So, to the lasting legacy, the story goes on, passing down from generation to generation. We salute you, the Phantom. Now, back to you guys. Like, share, subscribe.
All right, we're back. That was our character of the week, the Phantom. The Phantom is known for wearing that purple jumpsuit and having a terrible body for a superhero. But it would have helped him to have a better body while he's out there fighting crime in cul-de-sacs. If he would have gone to blerdsandwhiskey.com and clicked on the partners tab and went to FNXFit.com. FNX Fit has your whey proteins, your pre-workouts, your CBD oils, everything to go ahead and get that body in the right shape to go out there and fight all of the crime from block 1 to block 3, and then maybe to have your son take over for you when you get too old and tired of doing this shit. You can use the promo code FNXBlurs13 to get 15% off all your purchases and go out there and not be like the Phantom, aka Phoenix Jones in the past. If you don't know who Phoenix Jones is, please go look him up. We don't have time to get into it right now, but just Google Phoenix Jones.
Oh, man. Yo, shout out to Wilbert Robinson. Yeah, Phantom 2040 was pretty dope. But why the hell, oh God, getting up at like 6 o'clock in the morning just to watch that cartoon was just hell. But I was a kid, so we didn't care. So shout out to me for doing that. Follow a hashtag Camism on YouTube. As we just finished our character week, which is about generations and family. God,
Family.
I miss Trey. Family.
No, I have a special Fast and Furious joke, but it's just no good because Trey's not here. So we got. I'm just saying though. I'm gonna back pocket it. Nope, I'm gonna save this one because this one is especially trolly.
Okay,
put that in the memory card and just save it. So.
I'll say the power of the Phantom was all about family anyway, so that was his whole shit.
Listen, real quick, I got to respond to a comment on YouTube. Jamaica, I'm all about killing Jason Todd every week. I'm all about it. And I can't wait to see it in live action on the new seasons of Titans. Joker's gonna bash his fucking head.
real talk, Rick. You need to do your own review just on that one. Like we need to record your own
reaction. Rick's reaction while holding a crowbar. Like,
hey, listen, real quick. Just putting this out there. We could go back to Twitch and have a little watch along because we haven't done one of those in a while.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I mean, that would mean I would have to like literally watch Titans, and I hate the show. I don't like it at all. Speaking of,
I'm pretty sure Jason Todd doesn't like that crowbar either. So.
Now, one reference I forgot to mention about the Phantom was also Tarzan, white guy in a jungle fighting natives. Yeah. He's fighting pirates, natives, same thing.
What? And then why is it every time it's a white guy that ends up in the jungle, they always give him? He always kidnaps one of these jungle people to become his manservant.
That's actually what I no, that was my code word. I didn't use that for Defenders of the Earth. That guy Lothar, what I called a Caribbean ninja. He was the manservant / bodyguard for Mandrake, and he had a son with him too. And so I guess his son was also part of the indentured servitude with Defenders of the Earth. Though.
So what we're saying is Angelina Jolie was a big watcher of Defenders of the Earth.
No. Yeah, I say Angelina Jolie probably watched a lot of Johnny Quest growing up and thought, like, one day I'm gonna get me a white.
I'm gonna get me an army
brown
of brown
companion.
manservants.
Oh shit!
No, if she names one of those kids Haji and makes him wear one of those a turban with that jewel in it.
Yo, stop that. No, we're not doing that, Herb. Jesus Christ. Sounding like Xena over here. So the reason why you brought up the Phantom is one of the things we also want to talk about is generational curses and stuff like that that's going on in our community. Let's just be honest, like our community. Although I'm not a parent, one of the things that I guess that's probably one of me breaking one of the generational curses right there. As my age, not being a father, it's already breaking a generational curse right there. But as a parent, I guess it's just Herb now. Do you find yourself like going against some generational curses or something like that? Like, you understand what we're talking about?
Yeah, I do. But as far as like, I do find myself sometimes doing it because like one of the things we always talk about as far as like when you call your kid downstairs and they say yeah, and we don't answer, we don't say anything. We just want them to just come downstairs and everything. Like that's one thing I hated as a kid. And I mean, I see myself putting that on like Miles sometimes. And it's just like, come on. I mean, we really got to stop some of those type of generational curses, just using that as an example. But it's just like, I see it happening a lot. And we just, as a generation, have to just change that whole entire structure. Because, I mean, at some point, you kind of are traumatizing kids at this point. I mean, am I wrong on it?
No, it's a lot of things. So we have to, like, all right, for example, this whole Simone Biles thing, right? And her taking, it's the middle of the Olympics, it's the middle of the gymnastics competition, and she stops because her mental health is not in a good place at that point. And what you see a lot of people who are, oh, how can she do that? She's a professional athlete and she's leaving her teammates and da da da. And oh, that's that new generation and how weak-minded they are. Well, people do a bad job of keeping things in perspective, right? Technology has advanced to a point, like we grew up in the age where you had MySpace. You didn't have, like, MySpace is nothing compared to what we have as far as this iteration of Facebook and this iteration of Instagram, Snapchat, all of these things, and how it gives people an open door into your life. And then it also gives them the ability to comment and say things. And you see that and you ingest all of this stuff. And it does begin to take a toll on your mental health. It's like this generation. I tell the kids that I work with and the kids that I coach, I couldn't be in y'all's generation right now. There's a certain level of mental fortitude that it takes that I don't know I would have been able to deal with. I probably would have just been fighting people every day because of the stuff that I see them go through on just social media alone, you know? And that's another, like, we have to start paying attention to mental health in our community. It's gone are the days of just saying, oh, they just crazy or whatever. No, we have to put an emphasis on this. We have to start checking on people, and we have to start showing some empathy towards people who are having these moments and showing that love and that care that we need to start being the village that we've always talked about. You know what I mean? And caring for each other.
Exactly. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I mean, thing about speaking of mental health and Simone Biles, the thing that pisses me off about the whole Simone Biles thing is that you got people who are out here who can't even do a freaking cartwheel trying to talk trash about this Olympic. She's got so many like medals, so many accolades, so much. Like she is Nightwing, and she's out here doing like impossible tricks, and somebody out here like, well, she's a disappointment to America. No, America's a disappointment to me, because that shit like there just be like making me so upset that, you know, you got these armchair gymnasts or weekend warriors trying to talk trash about someone. They don't understand like we were saying in the meeting, and I you know, and Rick, correct me on this one. I was like, you know, I was a recreational athlete. I didn't really do team sports like that. I did athletics, but I didn't do team sports. Most of y'all did high school sports and coaches and had coaches drilling you all and stuff like that. So at some level we kind of understand. And Rick was like, nah, we played high school. None of us were in the Olympics. None of us know what athletic athletes it takes to actually legit be there. And speaking of social media and mental health, one of the issues that people also don't realize is the easy access that people had. Like years ago, you know, we could talk trash about someone and they would never hear it. Nowadays, people are literally like right there in your freaking face on your phone, you know, saying whatever because they have the anonymity and a protection of a keyboard. They're not face to face with you, so they're going to say whatever they feel about you to you, and you're almost going to instantly read it. And stuff like that is like, that shit kind of weighs on you sometimes too. People don't take that in consideration because they're like, oh, they're a celebrity. That's the job they chose. They're supposed to take it.
I mean, it's just it's the gift and the curse of social media, but I mean, it's also like just a personal story on me. I had a situation where when me and Talani got with each other, and I'm not trying to put all our business out there, but it's gotten to a point to where like I didn't know what actually depression or how just mental issues, as far as just like I didn't know how it was. I'm losing the sight of word, but I'm going on. It's just the fact that I didn't understand what mental health was until I got with my wife. And it even came like when I hear stuff that she may go like, it's just like, and she gets anxiety just off of little things or whatever. And I never in my life thought that I would ever go through something like that. But I mean, like when I actually took the time out to hear it and actually like, damn, this is the type of stuff that I'm not comparing her to like Simone Biles, but Simone might be going through some shit like, damn, if I come over there and don't land this shit right, I'm not going to make all this money that I have for my family. And then all the while, she may go ahead and try to do that actual somersault or flip, and she might land on her fucking head, and it could take her out. So, I mean, you got to think about that stuff as far as just mental health is damning on to people if you're not taking the right steps to it. And people need to just go ahead and just shut the fuck up. Because, I mean, you do not know what she's going through. She already walked in like with the pressure of just, hey, I've been doing this shit for so long. I've been doing this shit since I was like 12 years old. I'm 24 now. So 12 years, I've been probably more than that. But just the fact that she's been doing this shit for so long, and then going on to the fact that where she got a potential to make a lot of money. And if it's not, I don't know, I'm not going to land this flip. It could end everything. And I mean, just go ahead.
So Jamaica said, I got you. Jamaica just said on YouTube, she was talking about people comparing her to Carrie Strug. There was also, if Carrie Strug was the girl from the 1996 Olympics who went out there on a very badly sprained ankle and finished her routine on the pommel horse, I believe.
Was it a vault or a pommel? Yeah,
It was a vault. It was a vault. It was a vault. You're right. Okay. It was a vault. Now, if you go back now, and then there was also another girl for the U.S. who fell on her neck and then went out there and kept competing. If you actually do a little bit of research into both of these females and what they were doing at the time, and in interviews with them as adults, they talk about how they just felt the pressure to go out there and do this. Like they're essentially their coaches, who is I believe their coach is the same guy. I forget his name, but he was that guy who was a naturalized citizen. He came from a European country.
I think he was Russian.
Yeah. He came to the U.S. to be a coach, and he put so much pressure on these girls to the point to where, as adults, they were almost malfunctioning type adults because of the pressure that they felt for competing in the U.S. in the Olympics, and people are backing that. And it almost broke these girls to becoming grown women to do this because they felt obligated. And here's the thing. This is something that I need people to understand, especially when it comes to athletes. They don't owe you shit.
Exactly.
They are still human beings. Please, if you come to me talking about athletes and you say, oh, well, they're getting paid this amount of money to do this, I'm going to end the conversation, and I'm probably not going to speak to you about anything else ever again because you don't have real perspective. They are still human beings. They still have the same problems as all of us. Their problems maybe even being a little bit more magnified because they have a brighter light shining on them. We have to get back to being an empathetic society. We really have to, because we're going down this hole, and we're losing empathy and caring for each other, and it shows every day.
Yeah, like another thing that people aren't also taking into account to her mental health is that she was also one of the gymnasts that was sexually assaulted tit was by Nas? I can't remember the coach's name, but it began with an N. But yeah, that was a big scandal, and she was also involved in that whole thing too. And I think someone has pointed out that someone in the comment section is putting that out there too. Yeah, it was a team doctor. I'm sorry, not a coach. It was a team doctor. But yeah, like all this accolade on court, and also the fact that she's so good. She is like literally such a phenomenal athlete that they're trying to change the rules because they're actually penalizing her for being so good because she makes it look so easy that they're not judging based off the difficulty of the judging the fact off their own personal bias, saying like, oh, I mean, she's too good. So they're kind of like, they're almost like opposite grading her on a curve. It's like they're degrading her on a curve, actually. So I can't remember this particular athlete's name. So I know I shared the tweet recently. It was years ago. This figure skater, she was French, but she was also black. She performed a backflip on skates. One-legged backflip because somersault or backward somersault was illegal in France or in figure skating. So she did a one-legged backflip, which was technically allowed within the rules, and they still penalized her for it. She ended up getting a silver medal for that whole thing. But yeah, like part of the generational curse that we all talking about, like you mentioned, mental health. I remember certain family members that would get hit with mental health issues, and the family's support is still going to prey on it. And I don't know if you all noticed, like in this most recent generation, a lot of people from our culture are not as involved in church as, say, the previous generation, me included. Like somewhere along the line, we kind of realized, obviously. Somewhere along the line, we kind of realized. I mean, I'm not gonna bash religion, but at some point, we going back to the
Lil Nas X episode.
I mean, I'm just going off of the fact that we're just breaking generations. Like, you know, at some point, my grandparents and my great grandparents and my parents were all part of some sort of Baptist church, apparently talking to us about white Jesus. And then somewhere along the line, I'm here like, something ain't clicking. And I thought I was the only one. And then as we grew up, like other people were like kind of feeling the same thing. So, you know, this is like part of the generational curse is like, I had questions and no one answered them except for either read the Bible or I get smacked in the mouth for blasphemy.
Yep, exactly. It's funny.
How do they fit two of everything in one boat? Ow! Okay, I'm sorry.
Right. You find it. You're in church. You hear something. You ask what you think is a logical question, Next thing you know, you getting hauled off to the bathroom by one arm like this. It's just like, I wasn't being disrespectful. I wasn't being disrespectful.
I just had a question. I'm just wondering. I'm just trying to figure out. Like, the person in front of me got the Holy Spirit. I'm thinking, oh, here it comes to me. The person behind me gets the Holy Spirit. I'm like, oh, damn. Like, that's how we doing it?
Right. You should like, why did it skip over me? What did I do? What did I do?
I didn't believe.
Right. Yeah.
I believe I'm getting this ass whooping for just asking questions.
I mean, and you know, it's funny, and we're talking about generational curses and the things that we went through as kids. And there's a movie that's coming out fairly soon. The trailer for it just dropped the other day. It's called King Richard. And it's about real quick, I'm sorry, Ebony Wiggins. I completely agree. Our generation is definitely way more spiritual than religious. And if you don't know the difference, you need to read a little bit.
Yeah.
But I had to give a shout out to that comment. But I get it. They got Will Smith to play Richard Williams, who actually, if you actually remember, when the Williams twins I call them twins. When the Williams girls first came on the scene, Richard Williams was actually vilified by a lot of people with good reason. And they're kind of trying to make him a hero in this trailer because they got listen, white people love to have the black men that they find as non-threatening and put them in roles of people that they vilified in the past. So exactly. So they got Mr. Oh, woohoo, haha, say what to play Richard Williams in this. I'm looking at this trailer.
I'm sorry.
That family got y'all, didn't it? The family.
I'm just imagining him with a tennis racket going like this. Nah.
No, getting survey with it. And it's just I have so many questions about this movie. I have so many questions about his acting decisions because when I watched the trailer and it opens up with him walking in his house and going, "So what's going on here? Why are everybody acting like? Why are you doing that voice? What the hell is happening?"
So he's using the Legend of Bagger Vance voice.
No, he's not even using that voice. Like
I don't know, he does kind of have that scared Negro voice going on. Y'all don't know, but my little girl's gonna change the world.
I watched it and I'm just like, what the fuck is this mess that they're talking? And it's just, oh, Venus, who's your best friend? And Serena, who's your best friend? And we hard on these girls because we needs to be hard on these girls. What the fuck is happening here?
Hey, I wonder if Will Smith, before he talks to the agent, he's like, hey, we're gonna have this movie about Richard Williams' life story about Serena and Venus Williams. He's like, Will Smith goes, does the wife stay with him in the end of this movie? It's sold. Print.
No entanglements necessary.
Is there an entanglement in this movie? I don't even want to get entangled in the court net like this.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they couldn't have had Jada play the wife because they'd be like, "Will, we can't keep this. We can't keep the spousal abuse scene in the movie. That never happened. I want it there."
It'll get a little too real.
Oh man, no, but like
they should have had August Alsina play Serena's training coach.
No, but like the thing I watched the trailer and I'm watching this movie, and like I said, I grew up in that era where Venus and Williams just came out of nowhere, and they were made fun of. They were teased. They were these little black girls who had a different style of tennis. They were more aggressive on the court than anyone else. They were like Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa on the tennis court. They're just knocking home runs, and it was just too much. I've heard. I wonder if the movie is going to go into the training methods that Richard Williams put him through too, because allegedly there was a story where they couldn't afford tennis balls, so they were just hitting like rocks with the tennis racket. I'm over here like, what kind of Shaolin monk training montage you got going on here?
Hey, real quick, just a quick hot take. This is probably going to end the show. But it's funny that you compare Venus to Sammy Sosa. That you compare Serena to Sammy Sosa because they both believe in skin lightening.
Alrighty, guys, it's been a good one.
I said it. I said it.
So the one thing they didn't practice with is crowbars. Speaking of crowbars, Venus and Williams probably could have done better in the tennis game if they went to our Blerds and Whiskey webpage. They went to our partners page, and we already did Phoenix Fit. So maybe with their hair, with the beads they have in their hair, they could have went and got the beard struggle. I can't do this. We'll just do beard struggle.
Beard struggle could have helped their braids by helping them grow out longer hair with the beard creams and the shit and the Odin's Bliss. And you go on our partners page and use the promo code BLERDS1 50% off to get you some longer hair so that you can put them ugly ass beads on and fling them all around as you serve at 125 miles per hour. I'm probably gonna put it on my beard and put some beads on my beard, and I'm gonna call myself. I don't know what the fuck we're talking about here. Can we end the show, please?
Bro, put King Richard's Bliss or King Richard's Virtue on my beard. Who the fuck's beard struggle skin lightening 50% off? Anyway, let's go ahead and just do the up to the down to it. We gotta get out of here because that was my terrible promo. Jesus, I'm sorry, y'all. That was terrible.
Oh man, just like, share, subscribe on all social media platforms, guys. As always, up to it, down to it. Fuck those who don't do it. We do it because we used to it. Drink, motherfucker, drink. Jesus Christ.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and that technicolor rainbow in between, it's your boy Trey Proper.
It's your boy Big Herb.
And thank you for watching Blerds and Whiskey.
Be sure to like, share, subscribe on all social media platforms.
And check us out on blerdsandwhiskey.com.
Be sure to get that merch.
And come take this shot.